I'm Ross Bischoff with Now Marketing Group.
And I'm Terrence Keyser with Now Marketing Group.
And we've already got a lot of changes. It's only February, Terrence, and we're already talking about a lot of changes. That I guess that's the nature of social media. It's always in constant flux. And the thing is, if you don't keep up on the changes, you kind of get way behind, and then before you know it, there's a whole slew of new changes that come up. So we wanted to update you on some of the things that have already happened. And Terrence, you've got a lot of stuff going on with Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube have both made a lot of changes, actually. One big change with YouTube has actually been the URL. You can no longer have a custom URL without actually coming up with requirements. And YouTube has actually made these new requirements where you have to have 500 subscribers, you have to have channel art, and you have to have a photo in the icon box. And your channel has to be at least 30 days old before you can apply for a custom URL. One other feature they do make available, though, if you actually have a Google Plus page, then you can link the both channels to each other, and then that's how you can bypass the other requirements.
So any thoughts on the benefits of this?
Well, the benefit immediately goes to Google, owning obviously both YouTube and Google Plus. It's going to make people want to tie in their businesses with Google Plus, which is really just going to add more users and more, really just an influence of Google Plus in the social media world. I know when it comes down to it, there's a lot of different platforms out there, and Google Plus is one of those ones where people they don't quite have their hands on it, and sometimes that's just the understanding of it. But I think really the changes, I think they're good changes and good requirements, because it's going to make a business actually, you're going to have to be a valid business. You're just not going to be able to make a YouTube page and just get a custom URL. So some other changes with Facebook, though. Facebook, as both know, since they went public, they've been making privacy policy changes, terms of use changes. When the Messenger app first released, it had a big disagreement with some of the things they were forcing out there. And then also a lot of misconceptions about what the app and what Facebook was trying to do with your data. And really, they've actually developed a page itself, facebook.com/privacybasics, where you can now go and Facebook will explain and be transparent with exactly what's going on with your data and what they're doing between the GPS tracker. So if you have the GPS turned on your phone, they're not actually just monitoring where you are and pulling data off your phone. It's really for the ads, where they can give you ads to a current location. So if you travel a lot, they can actually give you relevant ads to the location that you're in. Also, the product line, the nearby friends. So if you're nearby friends and you have your GPS on, then they're able to show what friends are nearby you, and you guys could hook up. It's really just that portion of it. So I don't see anything. There's not a lot of changes with the policy. They're just really trying to be more transparent and just know and have users trust the product that they put out there. So. Cool. But what about you? I know there were some things recently, Twitter, and I think Google came out with an update the other day.
They actually came out with a deal recently where Google can, in the past, sometimes if you ever did a Google search, you'd see like maybe a tweet pop up. Well, what Google was doing in the past was it would actually crawl Twitter when you did a search, and it might grab something, it might not. Well, now the deal will actually automatically bring tweets up. And so basically what it has done is it has gained access to Twitter's fire hose feed, basically. Right. So stuff will come up in real time, whether you're logged into Twitter or not. Someone who searches, whatever, refrigerators may see a tweet that Bushers came out with, or if you've got something on the locos, it may come up automatically rather than having to go through that step.
Well, and you bring up since the locos, you go like a game time, where you're tweeting constant score updates. You could almost not even be on Twitter and could probably maybe, we'll see how it pans out and how the actual developers.
Yeah, it hasn't actually started yet, but they are hoping to have it ready by the end of the first half of the year. So, by summer, it should be going. But that's a great point. You can automatically, boom, you do a search and one of your tweets can be up there now, as opposed to in the past, it might take a while for that to happen.
Right. Google's
and
SEO to pick up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great deal for both parties because obviously Google has access to a huge slew of information, whether you're logged into Twitter or not. And Twitter obviously gets a whole new component of getting their name out there and showing people who maybe aren't Twitter followers or don't have a Twitter account. They can see all the information and it can say, oh, look at all this great information.
Right.
I'm going to go get a Twitter account.
Yep.
And even people who maybe aren't logged in, you know, a lot of times you may go a few days without logging into Twitter.
Right.
Now you can see other tweets and stuff just by searches that are relevant. So it's a good deal and it's going to help both parties out. It was actually a deal they had up until 2011 and they let it lapse because Twitter wanted more control over stuff. So it's an interesting deal, and I mean, you know, it should, again, one of the things Twitter had a lot was their growth was slowing, so this was a reason they did it. So, like we always talk about, Twitter is a huge...
I know there was, just with the annual reports coming out last week with Twitter, I know investors were pleased with the Google deal, and it actually it helped their stock because even though the user growth and some of the sales has been slow, that right there changed the game in a lot of investors' eyes, and so they're reporting Twitter's being interesting so far with some of their updates and pushing forward.
It's a very interesting social media platform, and it's one that, like Facebook with their changes, they keep growing and staying relevant because social media platforms, sometimes they come, sometimes they go, but these two have stayed on top for reasons like what we're seeing today.
Because they make changes and adapt to what the environment needs. So,
well, great stuff this week, Terrence. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
And thank you for joining us this week for another edition of Magnet Marketers.